So you liked watching the Grinch having chronic fatigue syndrome? So it took a little finding, but I found another one that we're going to react to today.
Wipe off your makeup.
What?
You look too healthy. Maybe that's why they don't believe you. You don't look sick.
Do the Golden Girls have chronic fatigue syndrome? Watch with me and find out. Right, you guys all excited to watch this?
I don't know what to do. I just don't know. I was in front of the class and I couldn't talk. I was too tired to talk. Not that they would have listened. They were too busy sniffing the whiteout they'd stolen from typing class. I had to excuse them early. I mean, I just cannot get rid of this flu. And it keeps getting worse, not better.
But it's been months now. Maybe it's not the flu. Flu doesn't last that long.
You ought to go back to Dr. Raymond.
I did, Blanche. He said I'm fine.
Oh gosh, you guys, doesn't this sound familiar? It's a flu that lasts forever. Doctors keep saying you're fine, we can't find anything wrong with you, there's no way a flu would last that long. Oh yeah, sounds super familiar, I bet. They're starting off good.
You ought to go back to Dr. Raymond.
I did, Blanche. He said I'm fine.
Get a second opinion.
She did. She went to Dr. Schlesinger. Well, then, you are fine. Now, you want to hear my idea?
She is not fine, Blanche. Look at her.
I didn't say she looks fine. I said she was fine. She looks like hell. Get her, Dorothy. You've got to see another doctor. Raymond is not a specialist.
Yeah, but what kind of specialist do I need?
Well, just call up Dr. Raymond and ask him. He'll refer you.
You have to, honey. You're getting sicker and sicker.
Don't worry about it. You won't be needing it. Dorothy, get dressed. You're fine.
I beg your pardon?
We've run every test known to man. They're all normal. You can get dressed, go home, enjoy your life.
But, Dr. Stevens, I was always healthy, and then I came down with this flu. I can't get rid of it. I've been sick for 5 months now. I have a constant sore throat, swollen glands, fevers. My muscles ache and are weak. I am totally exhausted all the time.
I know. You told me.
Well, maybe it bears repeating.
Look, Dorothy, can I ask you a personal question?
Yes?
You're divorced.
Yes.
How's your social life?
Okay, so she goes into all the trademark things for having chronic fatigue syndrome. Also feels like the flu. It's been lasting months and months and months. Oh, you're fine. Oh, all the tests say you're fine. Of course, what is the very next thing they jump to? It's all in your head. You're just depressed. I think I know when I'm healthy what that feels like. And this is not it. But no, they always make you go to the shrinks, go to multiple shrinks, have all the shrinks clear you. They still don't care. It's still in your head. Whatever. I'll let it keep running.
You're divorced.
Yes.
How's your social life? Do you see men?
What in the world does seeing men have to do with anything?
Oh, Dorothy, we know for a fact that if people are not happy, and lonely people aren't, they get all kinds of symptoms. Depression, fatigue. Symptoms very much like the ones you described.
Look, Dr. Stevens, I don't think you understand, so I'm going to tell you again. I am at a point now where I am so exhausted that sometimes I cannot speak. Literally, cannot speak. There are days when I can't get out of bed. Raising my arms to wash my hair in the shower is too exhausting.
Oh my gosh, do you guys have this? My arms above heart level. Holy smokes. Hurts. Physically hurts. And yeah, washing the hair. There's no way. Gotta lay down in the bathtub and do it. Like, that's a big one. And that was one of the early big ones that was just awful for me, that I was like, what is going on? And they're like, we'll check your heart. Found nothing. Well, it's not your heart. We don't know. Hee.
I have heart palpitations. I can't concentrate. I forget things. I get confused.
Look, Dorothy, I don't believe you're sick, but you do. Now, you want to pursue this? You want to spend more money? That's fine with me. So, go to New York and see the man I studied with. He's the best neurologist there is. I don't know anyone better. If you have anything at all, he'll find it.
2.5 hours. I thought you died. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Who are you?
I'm the doctor.
We'll see about that.
Look, Mrs.
Trillo, I'm Dorothy's mother, and I want to know what's wrong with her. And don't tell me nothing because I know there's something wrong with her. Mothers know.
Look, Ma, I'll talk to you about it later.
Your daughter is fine, Mrs. Petrillo.
100%?
100%.
Tip-top?
Tip-top.
Then, Mr. 100% tip-top, why the hell does she feel like hell?
Look, Ma...
Wait, I gotta hear this.
It could be functional.
Functional?
Mental.
Mental. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. 100% tip-top mental. My daughter may be no spring chicken, and her jaw might crack when she chews. And she may have noticeable trouble digesting raw vegetables. But one thing she's not is mental.
Thanks, Ma.
Oh man, she's a good patient advocate. You can check out that video where I explain the need for a patient advocate. But having a good patient advocate is extremely necessary when you have what we have, because it takes so long to rule out everything. And then on top of that, you better hope you have a doctor that doesn't just have something against people with chronic fatigue. Like, you need a good patient advocate, and she is one, and I love that they included that. That was awesome. And by the way, that whole, oh, you want to spend more money? Go, fine, whatever. I literally had a doctor tell me that, and then he told me to go see herbalists after I had all the tests another 2 times to prove it wasn't any of that. That was back when I had money, of course.
Rose gets to go.
Blanche, whenever I don't feel well, Rose makes me feel okay.
What is she, your best friend?
Rose knows I'm sick.
Well, I know you're sick. God knows you tell me all the time. What a waste. Rosen Island in New York.
Yeah, a lot of your friends will complain you talk about it too much, but when that's your life, that's your life. And maybe they're not good friends then. And maybe they need to be left out a little bit. A way to tell is this video up here.
So, what are you doing here? You've seen everybody, nobody found anything wrong with you. And between their workups and mine, there are no more tests to run.
Yeah, but I know
Look, Mrs. Warner, your main complaint is you're tired. I get tired, too. It's called getting old.
Dr. Budd, that's not what this is. I am sick. I've had to give up my job because I was too tired to do it.
I hate when they say, I'm tired too. No, it's not the same kind of tired. And like she said, when it literally affects your ability to keep a job you love, to do things you love, that's not normal tired. I don't know how they can think it is. I really loved my job, and I did not want to give it up, but I had to.
How'd you get here?
I flew.
No, to my office.
A taxi.
And from the taxi?
But how did I get from the taxi to your office?
Not a hard question.
I walked.
Right, you walked. You're not sick, Dorothy. The people I see can't walk. They can't swallow. Some of them can't breathe.
Give it a few years. She won't be able to. And you're still not going to have any answers.
Don't take this the wrong way, but have you ever thought about seeing a psychiatrist?
I have seen 2. Here are their letters. They both say there is nothing psychologically wrong with me. They believe it is physical.
What the hell do they know? Psychiatry is not a science.
I heard this. I freaking heard this. I've heard this. Yeah, what do they know? Like, you sent me to them. Was that a cop-out because you didn't know then? Yeah, I went to multiple psychiatrists myself when this all first started to prove it wasn't in my head. To prove it was physical. Because the tests were coming back negative. Oh, it's in your head. No, it's not. Keep track of your papers. Go to multiple ones. Prove yourself with documents. And like I said, make sure to bring those documents with you to appointments. Because as you just saw, being able to whip those and throw those in the doctor's face when the doctors are being jerks, amazing. Best feeling in the world.
What the hell do they know? Psychiatry is not a science.
Then why did you suggest I see one?
Because what you have is not scientific. What else was I going to do? Send you to New Mexico to a shaman? In case you haven't noticed, you're not 30. Take a cruise, Dorothy. Go to a hypnotist. Change your hair color. My wife became a blonde. She's a new woman.
Chuck you, Farley.
Rose, that's not it.
What is it, Dorothy? What happened?
Maybe I am crazy. Nobody believes me. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm really crazy.
Oh, Dorothy, you are not crazy. I mean, you are absolutely not crazy.
This is why it's so important to have mentally healthy friends around. When everything starts getting to you to the point where you start wondering if you are crazy, am I faking it? Having a good friend supporting you pulls you out of that funk and helps you reanalyze everything based on the facts. And the facts are, you are sick. No one in their right mind would fake this horrible life, these horrible problems, this horrible pain. And you've been to the shrinks and they've cleared you. It's not that. I'm really happy to see she has a friend helping her through this, like a good mentally healthy friend.
Crazy. I mean, you are absolutely not crazy. I've seen the way you walk. I've seen how wiped out you get. You're not crazy, honey. You're sick.
I think so, too. I really do. But nobody believes me.
Doctors don't know everything, Dorothy.
You're right.
I mean, they think they do, but they don't.
Bingo!
You're right.
How is she? Wiped out and depressed, even though she tries to hide it.
Sophia, she's gonna be okay. I know it.
She will be, Sophia. Now, she's tough.
You know, there are all sorts of things that people get that they can't diagnose.
True.
And then they disappear just as mysteriously as they came.
I think the worst thing in the world is if your child dies before you do.
Sophia, Dorothy is not going to die.
I know that.
She'll be fine.
I know.
Why do you do that, Rose? Why do you make up stories?
It wouldn't feel right to live anymore, you know? If a kid dies, it wouldn't feel fair to live.
Sophia, Dorothy's not dying.
How do you know, Rose?
I know.
Oh, now, honey, she's right. I know, too, and I'm a writer. I see things more clearly than the average person. My perceptions are keener.
Oh,
My
knock it
eyes
off, Blanche. Sophia, we have all seen our husbands die. We know what that is.
Except for her, she was getting a manicure.
pedicure.
Well, I'm 80-something, and I've seen more death and dying than any of you. Over the past 5 months, we've seen a perfectly healthy, energetic woman waste away. She can't do anything anymore. So what difference does it make that they don't have a name for it yet? It's still something. There were lots of diseases they didn't have a name for. You think they had a name for the Black Plague when one guy had it? Thousands had to die before they knew what it was. Dorothy could be dying, and they just don't know it.
We're gonna watch the second part. Don't worry, this was a 2-part episode. I got the second part. But one of the reasons a lot of your friends, your family leave is actually because they get worried that you're dying. You're gonna be gone soon. And it breaks their heart seeing this person they knew shrivel up into this little sick person they don't even know. And that's a big part of it. They just can't handle seeing you sick. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I mean, to have an episode chronic fatigue syndrome based and so far really well written. I mean, you guys, can you believe how well this is done? Someone who wrote this, especially for way back when, definitely had it. And the sad thing is, back when this came out, it did have a name, but it was called the Yuppie Flu. Yeah. Aren't you glad they don't call it that anymore? So, let's go on to the second half.
Well, as far as doctors go, you've certainly seen the best.
The best don't exist anymore. The best are dead.
Well, I don't know about that.
You're the exception, Harry. I didn't mean you. So do you think I'm crazy, too?
Dorothy, I think you're very sane. Just because a doctor hasn't found something doesn't mean there isn't something there.
Are you serious? Well, how come you know that and they don't?
First of all, dear, I know you. You're a stable person. And if you say you're sick, you probably are sick. Now, I want you to see Michael Chang. He's a virologist on staff here at the hospital. You know, there are all kinds of diseases we didn't know about before. Look at Lyme disease.
Harry, am I going to die?
I'm afraid so.
You really think so?
Sooner or later, I guarantee it.
I love telling that to people. Yeah, of course you're gonna die. I don't know when. We all die eventually, but I guess I'm a little morbid, and I guess this writer was too. Good on them.
Sooner or later, I guarantee it. Unless, of course, the Japanese come up with something. Here you go. Come on, here's his name and number. My God, what handwriting.
Oh, Dorothy, you look terrific. Where are you going?
Oh, to see that specialist that Harry recommended?
Wipe off your makeup.
What?
You look too healthy. Maybe that's why they don't believe you. You don't look sick.
Exactly. You guys, don't go to appointments trying to not look sick. Do you realize, like, how confusing that is? And same with, like, for your family and family parties and stuff. The less sick you look, the less people are going to believe you.
So you're a hypocrite?
I keep making myself look nice for the algorithm and for YouTube to try and get more likes and more subscribers. And yeah, it's working. But eventually, I know, it's going to blow up in my face. Some people are going to say I'm faking it.
You're not sick.
So, you know, do as I say, not as I do.
You look too healthy. Maybe that's why they don't believe you. You don't look sick. She should go. They believe her.
You've seen some wonderful doctors, but I really can't agree with their findings. There are new diseases arising all the time, things that we don't necessarily have tests for. But that doesn't mean the diseases don't exist. Well, I think that you are sick. I think you have something called chronic fatigue syndrome. It's fairly recent. There are many theories about it, but most of us believe it's a virus. It just has not been identified yet.
So I didn't know they actually originally thought this was a virus. I know they still don't know exactly what it is, but I don't think anyone thinks it's a virus anymore.
Doctors just kept telling me I was depressed.
Well, depression can make a person feel tired. But depression doesn't start suddenly, give you swollen glands, sore throat, and all the other symptoms. Now, there are certain blood tests which we'll do, and if those results are abnormal, that combined with the exclusion of the other diseases will compose a profile that actually thousands of people fit.
So I really have something real.
I would say you most certainly do. But we should have our answers in a couple of weeks.
How long will it last? I mean, will it go away? Does it get worse? Does anyone die from it?
Well, no one has died from it. We don't know how long it lasts. Some people seem to recover in months. Some still have it after 10 years. But that happens in other diseases as well. You take multiple sclerosis. Some people have 20-year remissions. Others wind up in wheelchairs. There are variations.
Yeah, 3 years or less of having chronic fatigue syndrome, people will randomly be cured. It'll randomly go into remission. And if it doesn't happen after 3 years, it's most likely going to be lifetime, according to all the scientific data that has been accumulated and according to all the anecdotes. If you listen to the anecdotes and the success stories out there, they usually happened 3 years or under. Very, very rare to have someone actually having their chronic fatigue syndrome go into remission if it's been longer than 3 years. Now, you can learn to live with it and pace with it and have a decent life. That doesn't mean it's in remission. And the other thing is, the people where it did go into remission, it does come back too. So I love that he's comparing it to these other diseases that do this same thing that people are a lot more aware of, like multiple sclerosis. That is a great way to get people to understand. This is awesome. I like this doctor. I wish I had found this doctor for myself, although this is, you know, actor doctors, but still.
There are variations. But all I can say at this point is try to adapt to it. Rest when you need to, eat well, eliminate stress if you can. Right now, there is no cure and no one thing that relieves symptoms in everyone. Right now, I'm afraid you'll just have to live with it.
That's still what anyone that's been living with this a long time, like me, will tell you. Eat a good diet, find out what you're sensitive to, what you're not, and cut those out. Make sure you rest, and make sure you rest properly. I got a video on that here. And basically, learn to pace. Learn to live with it. That's what pacing is you basically just learning how to live with the way your body reacts to exercise and to chores and to washing your hair and learning what you need to do before, after, during to be able to survive with this issue. Love this. Scriptwriter, you're doing fabulous. I love it. I don't know when this was made. I think this was made in what, the 80s? Beautiful. Beautifully done. And no one's tackled this since, I swear. If you guys know about anything else that's tackled this, comment below or tag me in a video in it and I will do a reaction to it.
Oh, why didn't they tell me, all those doctors I saw?
I'm sure some of them weren't familiar with it. And the ones who have heard about it sometimes have trouble believing it exists since they're not able to see it under their microscopes just yet. Yes. Those colleagues of mine, unfortunately, tend to blame the victim.
I can't tell you what a relief this is.
I'm sure. Are there any other questions that I could answer for you?
Not now, not that I can think of. Maybe later. Right now, I can't even think straight.
Well,
this is my treat. It is a celebration.
What are we celebrating?
My daughter found out she has a debilitating disease.
Okay, you guys. Okay. Did anyone else celebrate their diagnosis? I think a lot of us probably did if we were still at the point where we had any energy. I think I ordered out Chinese food, my favorite Chinese food, because I was like, finally, an answer! Like, after years of dealing with so much hoopla, and getting an answer is so... I don't remember what the fancy word is for it, but it makes you feel so good that you want to celebrate. And it sounds so ridiculous, but it is such a good thing to celebrate because you finally know you're not alone, you're not crazy, and you're not going to just magically die in like a day or two from something they missed. If you celebrated getting your diagnosis, comment below with how you celebrated. I want to know. I want to know.
Ah.
And it has a name. I am thrilled.
We all are.
Well, of course. Congratulations. Champagne it is.
I can't tell you what a relief it is to just be sick, not sick and crazy. And to know what I have and that there are a lot of other people who have the same thing.
Exactly.
I don't like the name. I think it ought to have a better name.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Dr. Chang said. Chronic fatigue syndrome makes it sound like I'm just a tired person when it is so much more.
So lately, the reason you'll see it say ME/CFS is because myalgic encephalomyelitis is a better descriptor for most people of what it actually is, and it frankly sounds better than chronic fatigue syndrome, because that does just sound like you're tired. She's totally right. Although myalgic encephalomyelitis is a different actual diagnosis, very close to chronic fatigue, very close to the point where it's pretty much just lumped together, but it is an actual different thing. But doctors treat it as though it's the same thing. So is it really? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, on Twitter, I'm seeing a couple doctors here and there pop up thanks to long COVID, and now they're having chronic fatigue syndrome. And I always wonder, did they dismiss people with their chronic fatigue syndromes in the past? And now they're having to deal with the exact same baloney. I know I shouldn't think bad things like that, but I can't help myself. What can I say? So that was cool. If you like this reaction video, let me know in the comments so I can make more. And even better, if you find anything I should react to, chronic fatigue, chronic illness related, fibromyalgia, whatever, at Survival of the Fatigued in the comments so that I can see it and I can go find it and I can look at it. If you like this, let me know. Give it a like. Maybe subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more of me reacting to things, check out this video over here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and keep on surviving, my friends.